We are the Guinea Pig Collective. All will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
Searching for old treasures, blowing off the dust. Timeless stories and legendary characters. This is Talking Movies. Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Talking Movies. So on today's Talking Movies, we will be talking about the Richard Christian Matheson, Tom Szalski, written and directed by Phil Joannou, 1987's 3 O'Clock High. Starring Casey Siemaszko as Jerry Mitchell, Annie Ryan as Franny Perrins, Richard Tyson as Buddy Revell, Stacy Glick as Bree Mitchell, Jonathan Wise as Vincent Costello, Jeffrey Tambor as Mr. Rice, Philip Baker Hall as Detective Mulvihill, John P. Ryan as Mr. O'Rourke, and Lisa Morrow as Karen Clark, and of course the whole host of other characters that round out the rest of this film. This is another one of those nerdy type high school fun movies. If you've never seen this one, I know it's a bit older and it's probably a bit nondescript. You've probably just never heard of this one because this one actually falls under the wayside of all the other type of high school type of movies that were out at the time, such as Weird Science, The Breakfast Club, and so many others that were produced around the same time. And the story of the movie goes as such. The nerd Jerry Mitchell is responsible for the student store at the Weaver High School when the troublemaker delinquent Buddy Revell is transferred from a continuation high school. One teacher assigns Jerry to write an article about the notorious Buddy Revell to the school newspaper. Jerry stumbles upon Buddy in the bathroom and touches the shoulder of the bad boy that schedules a fight with Jerry at 3 o'clock in the parking lot. Throughout the day, Jerry tries to find a means and a way to avoid the fight and get out of the school before he is forced to confront Revell. Now, I'm pretty sure that this type of movie could not be made in today's day and age with everybody worried about bullies and fighting back, because you know what? When these kind of things happen, you just need to call somebody to deal with it. Well, guess what? If you can't deal with it and the person who is going to deal with it is wrong because they're perpetuating hatred and violence, how can you ever stop a bully? This is just so fucking retarded in this newer generation with this kind of bullshit. But this movie is a fun movie, and it's one of those movies that kind of pokes the fun at the bully getting his own. Kind of like the same way they did in A Christmas Story, when Ralphie had had enough and he beat up the neighborhood bully. So what are some of the things about this movie that were just a little bit weird? So director Steven Spielberg was the executive producer on the picture, but he asked to have his name removed from the credits as he had done 2 years earlier with another youth comedy, Fandango, from 1985. During Jerry Mitchell's book report, he asked his English teacher what her favorite book is.
What's your favorite book, Miss Varner?
She replies, Turn of the Screw.
What's the difference?
It's important.
Turn of the screw.
And then he kisses her.
What a coincidence.
In Turn of the Screw by novelist Henry James, there is a part where a tutor is kissed by her student. And at one point, Buddy Revell is quietly reading Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck when he is in the library. Now, one of the characters in the book, Curly, has a tendency to challenge everyone to a fight. 5 years after starring as Jerry Mitchell in this film, Casey Siemaszko would play Curly in the Gary Sinise directed Of Mice and Men in 1992. And like many other films that are kind of overlooked, this one was actually a box office bomb, but would later gain notoriety on the home video market. And the music that is playing in the insect movie that Jerry watches in his biology class is the Out to Sea theme from Jaws from 1975, which of course was directed by Steven Spielberg, the executive producer of 3 O'Clock High. And Casey Siemaszko and Steven Spielberg's relationship did not end with just this movie. Casey had also done a pilot episode of Amazing Stories from 1985, which was titled The Mission. Casey also appeared in Back to the Future in 1985, which was also executive produced by Spielberg. One of the other stars considered at the time for the role of Jerry Mitchell was Kirk Cameron. And this movie also had Yeardley Smith as one of the cheerleaders. She is the longtime voice of Lisa Simpson from The Simpsons. And another actor that was considered for the role of Jerry Mitchell, believe it or not, was Corey Feldman. So many people think that actually bugging the studios to try to get extras put into a film is just something that is more of a modern take with the rise of social media. While I am going to bust your bubble. Now, Caitlin O'Hearney's character of Miss Farmer originally only had the one scene where Jerry seduces and kisses her in order to get detention after school. After the movie was completed, it was tested, and audiences desperately wanted to know what happened to Jerry and Miss Farmer. The makers, including Steven Spielberg, brought O'Hearney and Casey Siemaszko back to film the last scene in the movie where she walks into the bookstore and passionately kisses Jerry. And now on to the goofs. So, as always, there's a few of these things that slip up in production and, well, it happens. So, at the final fight scene in the parking lot, the crowd surrounding them is heard cheering, though no one is actually shown doing so. And when Jerry throws up the toilet and flushes, we hear it, but the water in the toilet doesn't go down. And when Jerry is in class and the teacher is scrolling through the names of the students on her clipboard, she has nice long painted fingernails. In the close-up of her running her finger down the list of names, you can clearly tell it's a guy's finger with a short non-painted fingernail. And during the opening credits, as Jerry is driving to Franny's house, there is a shot of Franny picking up some textbooks off of a table. Now, upon close inspection, the ink stamp on the side of one of the books says Ogden High School. This is the name of the school where the film was made, not where it takes place. And Jerry's injuries from the fight disappear when the police arrive. And other silly little goofs are like the principal's name tag on his desk and the way that O'Rourke is spelled, and the difference between the Ed credits version of how his name is spelled. Also, the security guard Buddy knocks out in the fight scene, well, he just suddenly disappears. And another easily overlooked one is the calendar in the student store. It advances 2 months within a 3-hour period of time. At the beginning of the film, when Jerry is talking to his sister, the calendar is on October. Later, when Franny meets Jerry in the store, you can see that it is now December, and it's still December at the very end as Miss Farmer walks out. And another small one is after the pep rally, Jerry goes to the bathroom and enters the 3rd stall. When the kids with the movie camera come in, they find him in the 4th stall. And in another scene, when the football player goes to beat up Buddy in the library after Jerry had paid him to do so, he pokes Buddy's chest with his index finger. And when his finger presses on Buddy's shirt, you can see the outline of the microphone underneath. And one last slip up is in the school store vandalism scene. Jerry is seen to be coated with foam when he inadvertently activates the fire extinguisher. Now, the type of fire extinguisher that he used contains pressurized water only.
Kill him, sir!
Break his face! Rip his head off!
Don't fuck this up, Mitchell!
Anyway, guys, that's all I have on this one. Have you ever heard of this movie? Have you seen this movie? Are you planning on taking a look at it? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And of course, as always, my friends, I am glad that you are here and that you decided to spend time and watch this video. And if you liked it, go ahead and destroy that like button for me. And if you are new to the channel, welcome. I am glad that you are here. Please take time to check out some of my other videos. And if you like what you see and what you've heard, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And I will catch you all next time. Later, y'all.